I was watching that in the world. I don't say exactly where yet.
We're excited to get the second episode. Yeah, we're paying, but if it means people will speak to me, it's got to be to Troy. What do you mean?
The Guys Huddle.
I mean, he. Welcome back to another episode of the Guys Huddle. Here today is just me, myself. So doing an early bird special today. So bear with us here while I'm trying to get some stuff back together here. The little different mix up here. First things I want to go over today is some pregame stuff. Jalen Ramsey's return. Personally, I think that. I think it's a little too early for him, to be honest with you. I know he called out Adam Schefter today, or not today, a couple days ago, and being news to him that he was returning, wasn't even sure if he was returning this week. So I personally think, I don't know, I think he's going to be limited on the snap count, but we're going to get some stuff pulled up here. So give me 2 seconds here. Jalen Ramsey returning, and the Dolphins play. Let's see who they play this week here. Dolphins play the Patriots. I don't think he's necessarily needed to return today, personally. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. The Dolphins, I don't know, they've been a little rocky lately. When you don't have, when you have the fastest receiver, in the league on your team, it doesn't take a whole lot, in my opinion, to win games. But I think their defense has been playing pretty great. But in the sense of they could use Jalen Ramsey, but I don't think you need him back versus the Patriots. I think that let me see what their schedule's like here real quick. I'm getting this pulled up here, personally. Dolphins schedule. Okay. So they play the Patriots this week. Next week you could definitely use them back. You play the Kansas City Chiefs. That's early. Ooh, an early game. They must be playing in Germany. It's at a 9:30 in the morning game. At least if that's Eastern time. I'm not for sure what it is for you guys out there in the Pacific. But I don't personally think they need him back for this game. I think you take an extra week off. You give him time. I mean, he's already 5 weeks ahead of schedule. I mean, what can you really say to the man? But I think they could use him for next week for sure. They play the Kansas City Chiefs. That'll, I honestly that could be the AFC Championship game. To be honest with you, depending on how the seeding lines up, I think that's going to be probably the game of the week next week. After that, they play the Raiders, and then they play the Jets. So the Raiders not so much worried about, but the Jets, they have a great defense. Aaron Rodgers is potentially going to make his return in Week 12, potentially, which is crazy to think. That's unheard of, but it's Aaron Rodgers, so he didn't sign to make all that money for no reason. So give me 1 second. We'll get this pulled up here. I wonder if it's going to take me up here. I don't know if it is or not. Okay, so rest of the games we're going to talk about here today, we're going to get our picks in. I know we kind of already did a little bit of this Thursday, but I'm going to go ahead and give it my picks again. We got Buffalo versus the Buccaneers already happened. To be honest with you, that last play, I don't know if any of you guys caught it actually. They lost the ball. I think Godwin lost the ball in the air, like trying to figure out where it was, because that was a perfectly catchable ball. Baker Mayfield scares the shit out of me, even though I'm heavily behind Baker Mayfield. I personally don't think that game was all of his fault, but a lot of it was he looked like he was jumping in place. I don't know if you understand what I mean by that, but when I mean jumping into places, he was just sitting here jumping with the ball, like turning each direction. I didn't feel like he was going through his reads properly, but I think he's 50% of the blame, 50% not of the blame. When you got to get down the field in less than 30 seconds, you can't keep doing 5, 6. I mean, it's not technically a check down, but like you can't take those 5 or 6 yard check down passes. You got to get down the field. You have no timeouts left. You scored the ball on the previous drive, thankfully, and stopped them. But personally, you can't do that. I don't know what kind of offensive play calling they were trying to get at, but poor play calling on the head coach's part, in my opinion. So that's pretty much my summary on that game. You got the Battle of New York today. You got the Jets versus the Giants. I think that's anybody's game. If Tyrod Taylor plays, I think the Giants win that game personally. Tyrod Taylor's a great quarterback, in my opinion. He's never got a real shot. He's always been on the backup on a team of emerging quarterback. I mean, right before, we got rid of him, Lamar Jackson came in, and then he played on the Chargers with Justin Herbert. He played on the Bills before Josh Allen. I mean, there's so many different opportunities he's had, but unfortunately, he always doesn't get the right shot. So I'm going to take the Giants today. If Tyrod's playing, if Daniel Jones is playing, Jets by 1,000,000. I don't think that Daniel Jones should be the quarterback of the Giants. They've paid way too much money for him, so they really messed up on that one. And Saquon only getting the 1-year deal. I know he said he didn't want to be traded, even though the deadline's approaching. It seems like a rocky situation there in New York. So next we got the Jaguars and the Steelers. Personally, I want the Jaguars to win, but Steelers have been, as they say, Mike Tomlin, their way to wins. And personally, I gotta give it to them. It's great. It's great coaching from them with the team they have. Personally, I didn't think they'd make this many wins so far. And a lot of people have won in the division, and that's great and all. But I personally, and the AFC is too stacked for them to keep, winning games like this. It's not going to last in the playoffs, in my personal opinion. They don't have enough high-powered offense. They call 3 plays on the offense with Matt Canada. I've been waiting for him to get canned. I've heard rumors that Gruden could be, the potential replacement for Canada. I personally, I don't know how you feel about the situation. I think it's been some time. He's maybe learned from some of his mistakes. Maybe give him another shot. I don't know. We'll see. He has a close relationship with Mike Tomlin, so we'll just have to see that plays out for all the Steelers fans. Personally, I hope you guys lose every game, but in a realistic analyst standpoint, I think you guys have a great chance to win if you guys just play your guys' kind of football. Trevor Lawrence has been doing his thing, though, so I don't know. He might carve you guys up, but you guys got that defense. You got TJ Watt on the field. I say you guys got a chance almost against anybody. So you sure gave it to us with TJ Watt versus the Baltimore Ravens. So it didn't help that we dropped 3 touchdown passes, but that defense is stellar. So hats off to you guys there in Pittsburgh. Let's go next game. We got the Eagles and the Commanders. I've been waiting for this. Do the Eagles get exposed today? Please let me know in the comments. Drop the comment if you would. I know we got a lot of Eagles fans on here. Can't post comments to some destinations. The Eagles. I got some hatred for them, except not like crazy hatred, but they have not played good football. They did beat the Dolphins, yes, but in a sense of, do you really have to, as a quarterback, have to have A.J. Brown, Smith, and now you signed Julio Jones as technically your third option, and your quarterback's still not performing at a level, an elite level, in my opinion? I mean, he's doing okay, I believe he has 7, 8 interceptions. Let me pull up that stat line here real quick. Jalen Hurts interceptions. Jalen Hurts has 8. 8 interceptions, and it's just now week 8. So he's averaging about 1 a game. Eagles fans, how do you guys feel about that? Leave a comment in there if you could. I personally think he needs to do better. You have a stacked offense. Like, you couldn't put it better for him, honestly. I mean, you guys have a great running game. Your offensive line's, OP. What's going on with Jalen? Is it not enough time? I mean, like I said, you got the best offensive lineman. Is he getting nervous? Like, what's the issue here? Personally, I haven't got to watch a lot of Eagles games. I probably watched at least 3 out of the 8 this year. So I'll personally vouch it could be some other issues going on. It could be wide receivers not running their routes correctly, or missed play calls as far as misunderstanding at the line of scrimmage. But you have some top tier talent with Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. I mean, AJ Brown keeps proving, what he is. He's the guy. So I don't really see that it's an issue on them. But I don't know. Let me know what you think the issue is there. But you guys keep winning games, so that's what matters, really. You guys play the Commanders this week. It's a division game. I personally think any division game that we play as the Ravens is a close one. So we'll just have to see. You guys didn't play very well in the first game, so we'll just have to see. Next game, we got the Rams and Cowboys. This is going to be an interesting one. I know we got some Cowboys fans on here. When do you guys pull the trigger on Dak Prescott this year? Is it this year? Does Trey Lance get to play? Personally, I just need to know. Dak's like, he's the guy that, everybody loves in the regular season to an extent. He doesn't do great, but he doesn't do bad. He does enough to keep his job, but he can't win in the postseason. He's nothing spectacular. He doesn't do anything in my opinion, at an elite level. He does things at very good levels, but nothing that separates him, in my opinion, off paper. Like, oh, yeah, we got Dak Prescott. And then he's going up against Aaron Donald, which is a bad man. Aaron Donald, his teased retirement. I don't know what that whole thing is about. I mean, I know he's got a Super Bowl ring, and I get that, but, man, he's still so dominant. And then all of a sudden, all these, rookies and these no names popping up for the Rams. So you got Puka, you got Kyron Williams. You got all these people that are just keep popping up for them, and you got Cooper Kupp back. I mean, I don't think he's done too much since he's came back, but I don't know. It's this it makes me want to smack you through the screen. Well, then we appreciate the comments. Trey's actually asleep, and everybody's sleeping. This is the early show today. We're gonna get another one in tonight. So, as I was saying, even got pants. I got shorts on. Just got out the gym. Appreciate it. But can Matthew Stafford tear him up? And you got Mike Parsons on the other side. You got some good players on the other side, but I don't know. The Cowboys have been really hit or miss this year. I mean, they beat the Chargers, but let's face it, I don't think anybody's actually scared of the Chargers. So that's just a matchup we're going to have to see. I personally think if the Rams play like they have been playing, they beat the Cowboys. I don't think it's going to be that hard, to be honest with you, but we'll just have to see. Next, you got the NFC North division game. You got the Vikings and the Packers. If you're a Packers fan right now, are you panicking with Jordan Love? I gotta ask because I don't know. I'm not a Packers fan. Trey is. I don't know how he feels about the Packers right now. It's an interesting year to be a Packers fan. Jordan Love obviously ain't seen much from him. Jordan Love's stats this year. Let's take a look at him. I mean, I know he's it's his first full year starting so far. Jordan Love. Let's see here. Let's look at his statistics here. This season he's had 10 touchdowns. He's had 7 interceptions. They play. Let's see. Let's pull up the whole shebang here. So the first game he had 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Second game he had 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So that looks pretty solid for week 2. And then you go to the week 3, he had 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And then week 4, he had 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. So he seems like he's a trend kind of guy. So and then you have the Raiders. Might add the Raiders. They're not known for anything good right now. 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. To go from not having any interceptions for the first 2 weeks to 1, 2, it's like it's going up. Like an extra one every week. You got week 3, you got 1 interception. Week 4, you got 2. Week 5, you got 3. Week 6, you had 1. And ever since week 2, he's put up 1, 2, 3, 4. He put up more touchdowns in 2 weeks than he has in the last 1, 2, 3, 5 weeks. So, I don't know, man. He's got a rating of 79.4 so far this year. He has 1,263 yards with a 57.5 completion percentage. He needs some more consistency. So let's see. He said I should cover since I wasn't appreciated. I said Dallas loses to the Rams and Eagles this 4-game stretch. We'll see. Dylan, I agree with you. I think Dallas does lose to the Rams. I think the Rams, if they put it together and actually play how they've been playing and not this on again, off again stuff, I think they'll tear Dallas apart, to be honest with you. Matthew Stafford force feeds the ball to almost any wide receiver. I mean, look, Calvin Johnson, not taking anything away from Calvin. Calvin's great, Hall of Famer. But you got Cooper Kupp, I mean, playing with the same quarterback that almost broke his record. And now you have all these other wide receivers that he spreads the ball around. If Matthew Stafford, if you show that you catch the ball consistently, that man's going to get you the ball. You're going to get the yards. You're going to be a fantasy nightmare. How we doing, Jesse? Just trying to get some early shows in before the games start here. The Ravens play at 4 o'clock, just in case anybody was wondering. The AFC North, has 3 teams play at 4 o'clock. They got the Browns that play. You got the 49ers and the Bengals, which we'll get to here in a little bit. They play at 4 o'clock, and the Ravens also play the Cardinals at 4 o'clock. I'm not sure who the Browns play. Let me check that out here. The Browns. We're actually getting into that anyways. We'll move on for the Vikings Packers. You got the Falcons and the Titans. Honestly, I'm not excited for this game. The Falcons, what is going on with Bijan Robinson? Is there something that I'm missing? Maybe a report I didn't see. I know I said he was sick, but he was cleared to play. I don't know what kind of sickness, if it was stomach bug, if it was just I mean, I don't personally know, but enough to where he's not out there playing. You're not even going to put him out there. We got to know. The Titans, they seem like they're in a rebuild mode. They just came out and said they're not trading Derrick Henry, but let me tell you, I think personally that's hey, we're not getting enough in response to these trades. We want more for Derrick Henry. There's only so much you can give up for him. I know he's great, and he's about to turn 30, I believe, or he's already 30. And he'll be a free agent next year. You can't really give that much up for him. It's got to be one of those, hey, man, we know we're not re-signing you to a contract next year. Get what you can out of him, but I wouldn't give any more than a 3rd-round pick for Derrick Henry. It's not like Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey are both great running backs, but they play 2 different total styles of game. McCaffrey's more that agile, can help in the passing game. Derrick Henry does not have the best hands at the catching. I don't know if y'all ever played Madden before, but his catch rating is terrible. I have him on 2 different of my Madden teams, and just trying to get him on a halfback wheel route and to catch the ball. If he catches it, it's amazing. But I always expect him to drop the ball. But I'm not excited for that game. The Falcons are in a sell-all, in my opinion. D-Hop made the worst decision of his career going to the Titans. What did you expect? He has to be running low on money. That's the only thing that makes sense for me for D-Hop going to the Titans. The Titans, they're not like a contender. They're not playing like one, that's for sure. I believe, is Will Levis getting the start this week? You see him right now? Let me pull it up here. I think so. That's Big Timmy's favorite quarterback, if you guys didn't know. So make sure you leave a comment for Big Timmy. He loves Will Levis. Will Levis. Pull up here. We're waiting on that to load. Just says game can go either way. I'd play in Madden when you get a chance, man. Yeah, man. My gamer tag is High Shy King 18. I play on Xbox, but if you play on PC, whatever, we can cross platform. But we can definitely get something going, man. I'm not the greatest, but I occasionally beat my brothers every once in a while. They play some out. Trey will definitely smack me in some Madden though. I'll give him credit where credit's due there. He's pretty good at the Madden stuff. I beat Colin and Patrick in our Madden league that we played, and I played Trey and got smacked. But yeah, I definitely playing some Madden, man. I stick to my team, man. When I play Madden, I don't really play with nobody else. I play with Baltimore, so if you think you can handle Baltimore, then we should get at it sometime. But the Titans, going back to the Titans, D-Hop, what I'm hearing, potentially Kansas City. I haven't heard too much more about it. I've heard more of Derrick Henry to Baltimore, but if I'm Baltimore, I would love to have Derrick Henry. Don't get it wrong. Even without J.K. Dobbins, though, I mean, Gus is doing his thing, man. I mean, look at last game in his stats. He's not having a bad year, but at the same time, I mean, can you imagine the read option with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, or the play action? I mean, come on now, I just can't imagine Derrick Henry with Lamar Jackson. That would be nuts. That would make my day. But would not make my day is if we give up more than a third round pick for him. I don't want to give up more than a third round pick unless there's an agreement that Derrick Henry is signed for more than 1 year. I would need him at least a 2-year deal, maybe 3, with a last year player option or team option. And just hope he doesn't get hurt. I mean, he's that kind of running back to where he'll run you over. He's not like the agile. So like he takes more hits. He might be necessarily more durable because that's just the way he used to play him, and eventually that's going to add up to him. And like I said, running back shelf life is not very long. You know, we've had a whole episode about the running back shelf life and them getting paid, but he's one that definitely deserves to get paid, King Henry. So we'll just see how it goes. I got the Falcons winning that game, so we'll see. I just don't think the Titans have anything left to play for this year. I think they should just go ahead and tank, in my honest opinion, shop everybody. I mean, Howie Roseman, they should really stop picking up the phone for that man. Like, anytime he's calling, click, hang up. We don't want any more calls from you. Like, not a chance. He keeps tearing that team apart. So we'll just have to see how the trade deadline is Tuesday. So we'll see what else Howie does. I've heard he's not done. So that was from Dylan there. We got the Patriots and the Dolphins. We kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. Dolphins by a million. I mean, I know it's a division game, but if Jalen Ramsey's coming back, you got Mac Jones, even though the Eagles made him look like a god first week. Dolphins, Tyreek Hill, if he's playing, I haven't heard anything on that. I know there was some questions. He would miss practice this week, so we'll see about that. But if Tyreek's playing, Jalen Waddle's kind of been silent this year, so that's interesting to say. Not too much more on that. It's Mac Jones and the Patriots. I mean, they did beat the Bills. I'll give them credit. Their credit's due, but the Bills are kind of falling apart. So we'll get to later with that. We got the Saints and the Colts. I got the Colts, man. Gardner Minshew. They got screwed last week. I don't care what nobody says. I'm gonna put it out there for all the Colts fans. Like, I personally hate the Colts and I hate the Browns, but that last drive on those calls, there's an unwritten rule. If the ball is not catchable, if it is thrown into the stands, you do not call it. You don't call pass interference. You don't call illegal contact. If there is a call that is questionable on the ball as not being able to be catched, and yes, I know it was a penalty. I understand that, but at the same time, you're going to give them a whole new set of downs when the ball wasn't even catchable. You're going to put them, I believe they got over 20 yards on that last drive just in penalties. And to give them that many shots at the red zone, I would expect them to put it in the red zone. If your offense is that terrible, you can't put it in the red zone after the refs give you 3 calls to get in the red zone with new downs. I wouldn't expect very much of you. I mean, and the Browns have a good defense. I'll give them that. But I don't know, man. I don't agree with the call, but it is what it is. Jim Irsay came out and said that the referees, the officials, and the NFL admitted they made the wrong call. I think that's good of them, but I hate to see that you can't. Obviously, you're not going to go back and change everything, but you got to make that right call, man. You just don't. You don't call it. So, but I got the Colts over the Saints. The Saints, I don't know what they're doing this year. They're kind of in the Titans, kind of like, I don't know. Are they staying relevant? What are they doing? Their quarterback situation. I don't agree with the whole Derek Carr thing, but it's a weird situation over there. You got the Texans and the Panthers. C.J. Stroud so far is the best quarterback to come out of the draft. Texans really won that. Now, the Colts quarterback looks promising, and I'm not saying he's not, but I don't know if you guys know this. He's never finished a full season in high school, in college, and now the NFL, man. Like, it's just injury prone, and the way he runs like a tight end or a wide receiver, which is good to an extent, but you're a quarterback, you got to be able to make the throw on the next play. So I'm not expecting you to run through the middle linebacker to get to the touchdown. Now, granted, I appreciate you getting the touchdown, and I'm sure all the people who play fantasy football and sports betting appreciate it. But at the same time, you still got to be there for next week for your team. So, Jesse, hater, yeah, listen, I got you a jersey up here, man, somewhere right here. But I got the Moore jersey up there, courtesy of Big Timmy there. And we got the Colt Sports Bar thing right there. So can't be that much of a hater. I loaded it up on the podcast wall. So you got to give me credit there. Let's look here. The next team we got I got the Texans winning that game. We got the Browns and the Seattle Seahawks. That depends, man. First off, Jackson Smith has kind of been of a bust. I mean, I know you don't call bust on the first year, but what has he done? Like DK's been out a couple games, I believe. You got Tyler Lockett, that's usually always pretty solid there, but he's supposed to be the guy. And I don't know. It looks kind of if the Browns defense plays up to par. I don't think Watson's playing. Sorry. Which that's a whole nother situation for the Browns. Once again, another quarterback issue. What a surprise. I got the Browns winning if their quarterback just plays average, even if like it's nothing great. But the defense over there is just stacked. You got Myles Garrett, everybody like that man is just insanely talented, athletic, hopping over the line to block field goals. Like that's just nuts to me. I got the Browns winning that game, even though I want Seattle to win because it's a division rivalry. But I need Seattle to beat the Browns, but I have the Browns winning. Next game we're going to move over to is the Bengals and the 49ers. That's kind of a hot topic here. Brock Purdy has clear concussion protocol and is set to play. So I'm a little nervous about Brock Purdy. Granted, he was out without Debo. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. But as a quarterback, people are going to go down. It's the next man up. So if you can't win games without your best people, I'm not saying you got to have, like, I'm not expecting to win if everybody's out. But, like, you still have Kittle. You still have Ayuk, you still have, Jennings. It's emerged. You got all these players, and I think you should still be able to win games with those guys, even if one or two guys go out. Like on the offense, like Debo went out, and then Christian McCaffrey went out with his oblique injury, and then he was back in. But you got to still be able to win those games, and you cannot throw 2 interceptions on the last 2 drives on offense. You just can't do that. Like, for those of you who say Brock Purdy's elite, Brock Purdy is not elite. That is a system team, unfortunately. You can hate me for just saying that all you want. He's played above average, I'll give you that, and I would expect him to with Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Kittle, McCaffrey. Like that's a star-studded offense, and then their defense. Oh man, like their defense is killer. But you cannot play like that. I mean, granted, I know it's a lot of pressure. Mr. Irrelevant, whichever. But they just traded away Trey Lance, and your backup is Sam Darnold. Now, I'm not saying Trey Lance has done anything great, but they went all in on Trey Lance. So for them to trade them, that means they got a lot of faith in you, and you cannot let your team down like that, Brock Purdy. So we expect better things out of you. I expect them to bounce back against the Bengals this week. So just have to see about that. Let me know who you guys have winning that game. Surprisingly enough, if Brock Purdy plays the way he's been playing, I got to take the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow finds a way to do it. But as much as I hate to say that, I can't stand the Bengals. But I think the Bengals will take that game if they play up to par and Brock Purdy plays like crap. Chiefs and Broncos. Apparently, there's expected 6 to 12 inches of snow in that game. They're playing in Denver, I believe. That's going to be a slippery game, but I'm still taking the Chiefs. It's going to be a close one. It's a division game. I don't know why, but I just got a feeling the Broncos are going to do something weird here. Next, we got the Ravens and the Cardinals. You got the Baltimore, Lamar Jackson carving it up last week. I don't know if you guys caught that. His 4 touchdowns, his 1 rushing, 2 to Mark Andrews, 1 to Zay Flowers. The defense lights out. They've allowed 7 touchdowns in 7 weeks. That's as much as that 2000s famous Ravens defense. So I don't know. I just posted about it earlier. You're going to get the Ravens 30 for 30. Haha, just kidding. But they're playing immaculate since we've had Roquan Smith. That man's a dog. I I can't, ask for much more from Roquan Smith. He's doing great things. Marlon Humphrey, he was talking a lot of smack today, man. I hope you back it up. I hope Hollywood doesn't burn you, man. Sometimes I wish we still had Hollywood, but he's kind of doing his thing out there in Arizona. I just hope he doesn't do his thing out there against us because we're, that's notorious for us, burning big plays and stuff like that. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. But I got the Ravens winning that game. Watch, we could mess this one up. We beat the Lions last week, and we could lose by 20 this week. That's just how Baltimore goes, unfortunately. We lose the weird ones. The Bears and the Chargers, that's the primetime game tonight. You'll see us back here for that as well. You got the Bears and the Chargers. I'll take the Bears, man. I call me crazy, which is fine. You can if you want to. I'm taking the Bears. I don't know if the backup's playing, I think Justin Fields isn't clear. I think he was on the PUP list. But I'm taking the Bears. DJ Moore, I'm going to give him a touchdown tonight. And that's me being optimistic. But the Chargers, I don't know. I don't know. It's got to be the coach. It's got to be the play calling. That's the only thing I can think of. They lose the most weird games. Like Herbert could put up 3 touchdowns, 300 yards. It might be a last-second play that they miss, or the defense just doesn't come up with it, or the opposing defense, gets to them. But they always lose some weird games. I'm taking the Bears. I don't know why. They're on prime time. I just got a feeling. Then the Monday night, I got the Lions. Last week was a fluke, in my opinion. I mean, when I say fluke, I'm not discrediting the Ravens, but what I'm saying is, like, Lamar Jackson's 16-1 against opposing NFC quarterbacks. So, I mean, you don't have much time to prepare for him. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, their only 2 losses are to, in my opinion, mobile quarterbacks that can throw the ball with Geno Smith and Lamar Jackson. So we'll see. I got the Lions winning tomorrow on Monday nights. Let's go over the rest of our topics here. About to cut it short here. Let's see. We got the next one. We got Kyler Murray not activated yet. It's rumored that he comes back next week. We'll see. I know he's not. There's a part of his contract. If he's not activated by so many weeks, he doesn't get a certain amount of money. I don't know what that extent is, but do you guys think the Cardinals move on from Kyler Murray this year? I don't know. I know there's been some issues in the past, and plus I don't know if you guys know this, but Call of Duty drops within the month, so we'll see if Kyler Murray's numbers go up or down. I mean, I know he hasn't played at all, but if you guys look at the numbers when Call of Duty drops, his stats go from here to down and down and down and down. So Kyler Murray, let's not fuck it up this year. And then let's see what else we got here. We talked about the Jalen Ramsey already. And then Commander shopping defensive ends, Montez Sweat and Chase Young, they're shopping. Listen, not that we need them. Hear me out. But if Baltimore got Chase Young, if we got Chase Young, I would lose my shit. Chase Young's a bad man, in my opinion. Montez Sweat is as well. The Commanders are in a weird situation. I think they're in a total rebranding mode. They're going to have a name change again, maybe some different uniforms. I think everything for a change for them would just be good. Either go back to what it was or just change everything because they're still stuck in that, are we this? Are we that? Our name keeps changing. Our logo changes every year. Like, come on, let's just give it a whole brand new look over. Maybe pick some new colors. If you're not going to go back to the Redskins, because I don't know if you guys know, there's a petition for them to come back to the Redskins. Some of the native tribes have personally said they would rather have them than Redskins because it's not offensive to a lot of them. But not saying it's not offensive to some people, and I understand that. And you got to think about that as well. But at the same time, if there's a petition going back from a lot of the tribes wanting them to go back as the Redskins, and they appreciate that, and it's like an honor to them, either do that or change it all entirely. Change the colors, like the logo, the name, everything. You got some new owners in there. There should be some changes this offseason, so we'll have to see. But do something. Shop your players. Get some Scary Terry some help. But I think that wraps us up for today, guys. We appreciate everybody stopping in here. If you could, share the stream, give a like, comment if you would. Make sure you tune in later tonight. We got the Sunday Night Football matchup versus, I believe it is the Who plays tonight? Who's the night games? And tonight is the Bears and the Chargers. So you'll see us back then. We appreciate you guys stopping in. Thanks, guys.